This is Magic and How to Fix It. This episode, Royal Rivalry, read by Molly O'Donnell.
"Let's go!" Alix called out to her sister, who was standing on the other end of the blast of magic that swirled from her outstretched hand. In a secluded spot away from the prying eyes of the castle, a dazzling tiara floated in the air between them. It was engulfed in blue and purple bolts from which they tugged from both sides. White, purple and blue sparks flew from the centre in all directions of the secluded grove. They were equally matched, and they both knew it. After all, they did share the best private tutors in the land. Xandra focused. Tendrils of deep purple magic extended beyond the tiara and wrapped around Alix's arms. The purple bolts tightened. Alix cried out in pain, but her sister didn't stop. "You let go first!" Xandra yelled back as she squeezed with all her might. Alix didn't lose focus, and the tiara floated between them, quivering in the air. "Why do you even want it? You hate going to parties and balls. It would be wasted on you," Alix snapped back. Despite being twins, they couldn't have been more different. Alix was to be queen one day. All of the attention turned to her. Every attendant, every teacher, every cute boy. Alix, who stood out everywhere she went. Being twins, they both resembled their mother, but Alix had bright freckles that contrasted with her deep brown skin, like stardust across her cheeks. Her striking face was framed by wavy silver hair, and like Xandra, whose hair simply fell pin straight and black as the night, no matter what Xandra did, she couldn't compare. So she didn't try. But today, they had something in common. They both wanted that tiara. Alix sent a bolt of blue electricity towards Xandra that grazed her cheek and crashed onto the tree behind her. Her concentration broke, and with it the spell, and the tiara fell to the ground between them. Xandra stumbled forward, but Alix swept up the tiara away first. "Can't you just let me have one thing?" Xandra pleaded, straightening herself out. Alix held the tiara triumphantly. She had that annoying, smug look on her face. It was a really splendid piece. The silver tiara was adorned with clear gems that sparkled from every angle, chains that hung from the band, draping the wearer in even more jewels. Whoever wore this was bound to be the centre of attention. Heat spread through Xandra's cheeks. "You always take everything!" Xandra yelled. The two shared everything the same way they had shared their name. Alix took the first pick, and Xandra received the leftovers. Xandra channeled her energy and summoned a great wind. It roared hungrily as it swooped down upon the glade, gaining momentum as it swirled around them. Xandra's eyes narrowed, honing in on her target. She swept her arms, and an icy gust threw Alix across the glade. Her back slammed against a nearby tree with a thud. Then she tumbled to the ground. Alix groaned deeply. "What is wrong with you? It's just a stupid tiara." She shook it as she spoke, and it chimed along with her voice. "If it's just a stupid tiara, then why won't you give it to me?" Xandra watched as her sister staggered up from the ground, assessing the damage of the mud on her skirt, then furrowed her brow. "It's mine. I got it first!" Alix yelled. Then her hand moved up in the air, creating a symbol suspended in front of her. It was just barely readable, but Xandra knew what was coming and had just enough time to react. She raised her left hand into the sky and drew a circle with 2 fingers. Clouds formed overhead, casting a shadow over the glade. The cuff of Xandra's jacket ignited, the heat crawling up her body as the flames climbed up her sleeve. Her fingers hurried as the heat grew, the relief as the cool rain poured down from the sky, dousing the flames before they blazed through her skin. Rain rolled towards the castle, and then the city, and then the nearby towns. Purple lightning sprayed down within it. From here she couldn't quite tell how far the rains had reached. A lightning bolt in the shape of a hand zapped down towards them and clutched the tiara in Alix's hand. Xandra's champion and Alix tussled back and forth for the sparkling object, tossing it in the process. Hurried footsteps echoed from the holloway leading to the grove. A small group of castle attendants' faces appeared at the entrance. "Stay out of this!" they called out in unison. Alix encased the grove in an impenetrable force field, while Xandra obscured their view with a dome of thick fog blocking out the outside world. This was between the two of them, and they weren't going to back down. The issue would be resolved right then and there. Tiara now lay in the mud between them. The rain kept the gems sparkling. They both rushed through the fog towards it. Alix had the head start. Desperate, Xandra jumped and slid on her belly with her arm outstretched. Together they grabbed each end and pulled back and forth with all their might. Thick air swirling around them. "You're a selfish, narcissistic cow!" she yelled, tugging at the tiara. "Shut up!" Alix said, tugging back. Xandra threw a punch. Her fist connected with Alix's cheek, leaving a flustered maroon mark. Alix stumbled back, her mouth agape, clutching her cheek. With her free hand, Alix grabbed onto her sister's hair. She yanked Xandra's head back and she yelped in pain. Xandra grabbed her sister and tripped her, throwing her down into the muddy grove below. The two princesses wrestled for dominance. Arms and legs threw out in every direction, the thick fog partially clouding their vision. The tiara got away from them, forgotten in the chaos of the battle. Ultimately, both sisters tired. With all energy sources depleted, they collapsed beside each other onto the cold, wet ground. The smell of fresh, wet earth filled the air. "What in the realms is wrong with you?" Alix pleaded. "Look at yourself. You're not fit to wear the crown." "I don't want to be queen. I don't care about any of that. I just want him to see me for once." "Are you serious? This was over a boy." Xandra nodded, evading her sister's gaze. "Who?" Alix asked, reaching out to help Xandra stand up. Arlo Leighton," Xandra replied. "The tailor's son? Oh, you have terrible taste," said Alix. "See? This is why I didn't tell you," Xandra emphasized by gesturing with her arms. Alix looked around for a moment, waving her hand to disperse the fog, then picked up the tiara from the ground. She then held it out towards Xandra and asked, "Well, what are you wearing with it?" "I thought maybe the black sequin gown," Xandra said. She wiped off the mud on the rim of the tiara and placed it on her head. Then she twirled for approval. "No, that won't do. What about the lilac ball gown? You know, the two-toned organza tulle, the one with the princess seams on the bodice." "The what?" Xandra asked. "The purple one that turns blue in the light." "Really? You let me borrow it? You're the best!" Xandra pulled her sister in for a bear hug. "Ew, don't touch me," she said, pushing her mud-soaked sister away. "And don't you dare spill anything on it," she added. As soon as the protections came down, the castle attendants rushed in, quietly fussing the girls as they always did. The rain began to come down harder now, sharp on their skin. "You can stop it now," Alix yelled over the roar of the storm around them. I can't," Xandra stuttered. I can't control it." Alix grabbed Xandra's hand, and together they ran towards the holloway. The attendants ran behind them, creating a bubble of air around the girls, blocking the rain. The trees in the forest beyond were bending at the trunk, forced to bow by the power of the wind. They would not make it back on foot. They were going to have to find another way.